Give it a couple seconds. It's still showing publishing. You guys both with your backgrounds and shit. All right. All right, guys, we're on.
What up?
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the Hollywood edition. Sorry, welcome to the Halloween edition. Hollywood edition. I'm already thinking Hollywood. Sure.
Shit, we got a couple days for Halloween.
Yeah, but we're on Halloween month.
Oh, I got you.
Shoot, it's Halloween month. What are you talking about? It's Halloween month. Frequency Control Podcast, Halloween month. I couldn't wait, man. I couldn't wait. Got to do it now. Halloween month. Halloween month. Yeah. To celebrate, man. I wanted to switch the game up a little bit, have our stuff kind of look kind of cool. And
All right, guys, we're live. So, Berto.
Just cut me off like that.
I know, it's like, all
No,
right.
we've been live and for a minute, and we're. I guess that's how it's going.
Having fun. We're having a conversation. That's what we're doing.
All right, cool. Halloween. Let's talk about it.
It's Halloween month. Wanted to spice it up a little bit. We've been doing basic normal stuff with amazing messages, though.
So tonight's topic is speaking things into existence, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my first experience with this is when I first got into this work. Very skeptical, very almost like non-believable, right? Just seems so far-fetched. But as I went through my first class seminar, at the end of that weekend, that Sunday, we got to choose what we wanted, right? So there was a few different things, but one in particular one for me was a financial goal, and of making $40,000 in a month or 30 days. So they were able to get us to tap in mentally, physically, emotionally, and then speak it into existence, man, like yelling it with, but they made us do it a few different times, where the first couple times you feel like it's embarrassed, like people are judging you, that type of thing. But after I was able to accept it and just be it, and actually felt it as I was saying it and believed it. I walked away from that class, and that was it. That's all I did, right? I spoke it. So a month later, I had forgot about it, and during that time, I was like on top of my game and just going through my financials, and come to find out, I made just a little over $45,000 in a month. And I spoke it, forgot about it, went back to regular life, and that was like my aha moment. I was like, holy shit, like that really happened. I put some action behind it, but never in my life have I ever created that kind of a financial come up. As far as anything. And I've yet to this day to be able to achieve that again, just because I haven't focused, I haven't made it a priority. But that was my first experience with speaking things into existence. And then since then, there have been other things, relationships and other materialistic type stuff. But yeah, that was my first eye-opening experience with it. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I've been the reason they brought up this as a topic when you asked earlier was because like I've been editing video like a fucking madman, but anyway, while I'm editing video, I'll have like something on in the background, and there's 50 Cent's old manager with the vitamin water and all that shit that 50 did where he made mad money, right? And every time I would see these random videos over time, they always talk about, he spoke it into existence. He said, blah, and they just keep saying he would come in that office and he would be like, I'm going to start my own, dollar waters or the quarter waters like we do in the hood, except for I'm going to have like Formula 50s and I'm gonna sell water. And so he's like, so we got to figure this out. Somebody find a water company and we're gonna sell Formula 50, and just like they do the quarter waters, not thinking anything of it, of how big it'd be, or that Coca-Cola didn't buy out that company, and then he'd be being paid till this day for that shit. But everyone just kept talking like all these different shows I've been watching. It's just like they talk about these famous people have already done something big. They talk about, yeah, man, he spoke it into existence. He would talk about that shit all the time. We talk about how like Jim Carrey used to do that. He'd sit there and talk about what he's gonna make and what he's gonna do. I just think that when you speak about it, it just all of a sudden tells your mind and body to start figuring out ways for it to happen, and it's pretty magical that way. And you start to do like you did. You didn't know it at the time. That like Will told me one time. He's like, or Kevin Trudeau, but like through Will is how I learned of it. You don't, gravity exists, but and it still works. You don't have to believe in gravity, but just jump out the fucking window right now, and you'll go 2 flights of stairs down to some shit. Like it's real whether you want to believe it or not, and it's crazy because you always kind of go back and start thinking about when you did speak about I'm going to do this and that, and then it just all of a sudden happened because you spoke about it. If you speak about it, you got to have some belief behind that, right? Whereas if you don't speak about it, you probably don't. You're not telling everybody about it. Nobody. But if you speak about something enough, you will start believing it. You know what I mean? Even lies. You know what I mean?
It's crazy, man. This past week, I did a little bit of reading, and that was one of the things that the author was talking about was when you plant a seed, you plant it, but you just water and fertilize it, right? So same type of thing when you're speaking these things into existence. It's like a seed. You plant it, but you can't keep digging that fucker up, hoping it's gonna grow. Because the more you dig it up and disturb it, the less it's gonna grow. So planting that seed, not necessarily forgetting about it, but quit digging it up so much. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I refer back to my situation where I planted the seed, I walked away, I went out and watered it through action and other things, and it manifested itself, right? It grew into the fruit that I wanted. And that was a key thing that stuck in this book this last week was when you stick these seeds in the ground to get them to grow, quit digging them up so much and expecting, why is this shit not growing? Why is this shit not growing? Because you're actually hindering the growth of it. And by truly believing that it's going to grow, being able to step back and allowing it to grow, just go do your actions, do what you got to do. It'll manifest itself. And it's crazy. I've gone through my business, especially, it's a huge one, where that's how I operate a lot of the times. I don't have a lot of stress as far as that type of stuff. I just plant the seed and step back and let it grow, and I'll come harvest it later.
Yeah.
So
I experienced this, on a smaller scale a few times, but the very first time was the sweetest, man. And as soon as I got this material, I sat down on my couch and I started at 8 in the morning, didn't finish till 9 at night. And I did that shit for like a week straight. And, at the time I hadn't seen my daughter for a while, right? And, after taking 100% responsibility, getting ready for this change I was about to go through mentally, you know, my biggest thing was I wanted to see my kid. So that's all I did. I thought about it. I talked about it to myself. I was in my home pretending like I was playing with her and doing the little things we did. And I was obsessed with it. Not only was I speaking it, but I was living it in my life, like it already happened. And I was already doing it. And I was already enjoying and feeling good about hanging out with her, even though I hadn't yet. And then all of a sudden, ideas started popping in my head, go to her school. Went to her school. I seen my kid, went to her school. You know what I mean? Seen her and, just let her kind of know what was going on. And, I'll be hanging out with her more and stuff. And then I kept working it. And then all of a sudden, I started changing the way I was reacting to her mom, and I changed my reactions. And then all of a sudden, the conversations from you never see your kid is, you need to see her more, and it was the most incredible change I've ever been able to do in my life. And really all I did was change myself. And I was able to see my daughter more than I ever have in my life just by changing myself and being better. I created a better opportunity. But to get to that point, though, I was completely obsessed with the feeling of what it was like already hanging out with her before I did. And then I ended up hanging out with her more than I ever had in my life. That was the first time, man. And that's when I knew, man, I could do anything just changing my thoughts and my actions and what I am, literally not just a sentence coming out of my mouth, but the thoughts coming out of my mind as well. Every single one of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's saying it, and it's like how powerful it is, as well as what people don't realize. Like when Berto's like, when you start rushing it and going, it hasn't happened fast enough. You're also speaking that into existence. It hasn't. Why isn't it happening? You're speaking the words. It isn't happening. And so the power of switching how you say everything, it's almost superstitious sounding, but it's like if you keep saying that, you start to talk in a way of victim. You start to talk in a way of scarcity. You start to speak that way, like, oh my god, I need to get this money by this time. Oh man, everything just keeps hitting me, man. Shit. Well, that will keep you in this that's unattainable mindset. And by speaking in resistance as if it's happened, it happens. By speaking as to how hard it is, or why isn't it happening fast enough, or whatever it is, or somebody else's fault, or whatever it is taking it out of your control. Whereas the only thing you have in control is to vision it, speak it into existence. And there's so many aspects of this. This is like the small layer of it, but that you get in that with dream boards, putting a picture up, somebody writing a check to themselves. That's a form of speaking it into existence. But yeah, it's like Will going through the motions. He might have had a fake play date and pretend he was with his daughter. But that's kind of an extreme version. But it can go that far. I mean, like we sit in fucking Lamborghinis just to smell them and figure out what that full experience is like. I have a bunch of, like, I think it's like $100,000 of fake money in my room just so I can look at it and see it and make me think about, like, that's right, motherfucker. Like I've got a fake chain. As fucking crazy as that is, but just to look at it, to be able to kind of touch, and feel and feel like that's in my life, like what that would feel like to be on a regular basis. It helps me to do the speaking things into existence. And I've noticed.
You there, Will?
He's here.
Are you here, Berto?
Yeah. What?
Paused.
Yeah. I think Berto looks frozen.
He is. He's paused.
Oh, he says, "Are you there?"
Yeah, I'm there. Are you there? Paused. I'm moving around still.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, but yeah, that's the big thing, man. Is it's like having those things to where you can touch them and feel them. It helps you envision and visualize. I've noticed more things happening for me in the last 5 months than have ever happened. I mean, the ball is rolling like fucking crazy for me. But I keep looking at things and I'm sticking on it, on its ass. You know, the information, I'm on it nonstop. You know what I mean? Sure, I have slumps, and I've had 2 and 3 week long slumps that are just throwing me off. And my latest epiphany has been the scarcity mindset. Like I've always thought about money, but I always think about how more subconsciously how I'm thinking about money is how I can't get it, or not how I can't get it, but how God, I just yeah, fuck, man. Every time turn around, I start to come up, and then I get knocked down. I would think of it in a simple idea of, man, as soon as I come up 5 or 6 grand, the car breaks down. Shit. And then now I'm thinking of it like that, like I'm not gonna have it forever. And then it's also like I just came into some more bread just like today, uh, and it was a lot, and I was like, okay, there's a fluke. Somehow I'm gonna lose this. Somehow this is wrong. This is fake. There's no way I have this much. Like in my head, literally thinking how almost like I don't deserve it, or that this has got to be fucked up, or somehow it's going to get taken away from me. Like like when people say, hey, don't get your hopes up. I didn't want to get my hopes up. No, you get your fucking hopes way up. You know what I mean? Because it's the fact that when you start thinking of like you don't want to get overly excited about something, that's why your energy stays low. Overly excited is high energy. Low energy is you need to get overly excited about everything. And I'm the dude who would tell people that, man, don't get overexcited. Like be ready for the bumps and scrapes, because that's all life is. And that's a bad way of thinking, because then you're just going to get bumps and scrapes and you're going to live out that existence. And for me, I know it as a person who I've gone through so much shit in my life, but I let that past stay with me because I held on to like what I learned from it, and the thick skin that I got from it was now the barrier from me getting further. Because now I'm like, nah, shit don't fucking happen for free. Shit don't accidentally happen good to people. Whereas it doesn't when your mind's like that, and it's super tough to get out of that mindset. Like I would be like, don't get your hopes up. Again, today some major shit happened, and I shouldn't say major. Well, some major shit did happen today, but that's for another fucking day. But some minor shit happened, which is financial, and I literally was like, no, this is fucking a fluke. This is wrong. This is fucked up. There's no way. Not me. Like, cause you just can't, like, okay, there's going to be some sort of fuck up in the system, and I'm going to lose all this bread. And I started thinking, oh my God, Rob, you have this scarcity mindset, dude. You are literally like, you never think of me like that, but like when you really start dialing into this information, you get good at it. You start to see these things and start to go, man, I can see how I think I'm getting somewhere, but I keep getting held back for some reason. I'm going, fuck, but I'm doing all the actions and I'm doing all the stuff. But your belief subconsciously on a subconscious level is that you don't totally believe you deserve it or are gonna make it. And that on from a superficial level, you can have all the I'm gonna win shit you want to say and rah rah, but if you don't believe it down to your fucking core, it's tough. And of course you're not always going to believe it down to your core, so sometimes it takes baby steps and you will eventually get there. Slow belief steps, things that you can do, but speaking it into existence really helps. And I started noticing I don't talk about it enough. You know what I mean? I almost thought I'm not going to talk about everybody because I don't want to jinx myself, and I don't want to be telling people shit and then not fucking, but you can't be that way. You just got to go all in,
Yep. And man, I think that's the words that you speak are huge. So that's one of the things that I've been choosing into really being more cautious and cognizant of my words and my and the words that even that are going through my mind when I'm not speaking. How am I speaking to myself, right? Because those words, like you were saying, Rob, can either build you or they can hinder you. Because as we are speaking them or we're thinking them, we're bringing them into our subconscious mind, depending on where you're at. So we're programming our subconscious mind to think and react a certain way. So that's one of the things I got hanging right here every morning before I even walk out my door. It's how I'm going to talk and speak, and that's the beginning stages for me, man. Because if I'm not in the right mindset and I'm thinking negatively, or if I'm speaking negative, the words that I'm choosing to express is really how I'm choosing to move forward. Yo, yeah, 1, 2.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's this is so important too. You know, I had a fucking breakdown a couple of weeks ago on live TV and shit, and I want to clear something up too. I said if I had a chance to make the same decision on that recording studio, I said I wouldn't do it, and that's a lie. I would totally do it again. If I was kind of caught up in my feelings and shit like that. You know what I mean? But if I had to look at it again, I would make the same thing. It's easy to say now, easier to say now, because I'm looking at some really amazing shit. But now beyond that, man, I've been really like dialing in and focusing. Never came back from Robert's house, man. And I tell you what, man, just being obsessed with. I kind of I redid my chief aim, because after I told it to you, you kind of mentioned some shit. I was like, I got to change it immediately. And I'm not telling anybody. But, and then all of a sudden, man, I just out of nowhere, I got invited to dinner, man, with the couple, man, and looking to possibly invest in some things that I've been kind of talking about, man. And all of a sudden, I just kind of landed a homie, man, just got some major bread, might invest in some stuff. So it's just really kind of interesting, really dialing it in. And I'm getting obsessed, meaning I have little notes in my back pocket and I take little minute and 8-second little breaks and I read it. And I'm telling you, like clockwork, man, all of a sudden people now with money are starting to come into my life. Just in the past week, two sets of people. I just feel like it's coming along the path, to help me, maybe they help me fund some of the things I'm doing to get to the next step. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just really kind of crazy. And here's a test. Let's do a test. Take a look at your surroundings currently. What are you looking at? What are you driving? Where are you working? Here's a true test, and then take a look at all that. What have you been thinking? What have you been talking about? What are your conversations like? You know what I mean? And that's exactly what's going on in your surroundings right now. Take a look. This isn't, and if it's what you don't want, it still works. You just prove that it worked. It's just not working in your favor. You could do it. You can change it. And start thinking about what you do want and start attracting that stuff and get rid of that kind of the rut you're in or whatever. Maybe you are doing good. Maybe you need to turn it up a notch, but pay attention and recognize, wow, I'm sitting in the place that I've made happen. You know what I mean? And completely changed my life around in fairly quickly, man, I'm telling you, this is real. And there's the proof is take a look around. And you are looking at what you've been speaking. So when you wake up in the morning, someone asks you, well, how's your day? Well, I went to breakfast and my eggs were cold. It took forever to get the server These are your conversations. You're telling people how's your day went. And all you're talking about is all the negative stuff that happened. Instead of just, oh man, I woke up, I felt good. It felt good to get out. It was kind of rainy and the smells was awesome. I went to eat, and it was clean. I had a great conversation with the person I met there. That's the stuff you talk about. Not that your eggs were cold, the service was horrible. The real conversation coming out of your mouth, and that's what you're surrounding yourself with. Stuff that just makes you feel more horrible and want to talk more horrible sentences. This is real. And you don't have to believe it. It's going to happen anyways. But life is a game, man, and we get to make up the rules.
You notice in your life the people that are having the hardest time in life, and I'm no expert, and I'm not a billionaire yet, because I'm still figuring all this shit out, right? So this is all still I think you are. We're not masters yet at this information, but as I'm on my journey to it, right? But you see, the people that are having the most issues in life, all they are fucking talking about is their issues in life. Like, man, and then this is fucked up, and that's fucked up, and my life's this and this and that, and then everybody's fucking getting down on me. And you look at them and you go, yeah, and then they're just living that. They're speaking it into existence like crazy,
You're like, what the fuck? Your life must suck. I try to tell people the minute they start, hey, you got to change that shit. You got to change that sentence right now. I got people at work talking about, oh my God, I'm so broke. And I look at them and I'd be like, you can never say that sentence again, ever. And they look at me and they're like, fucking, you're right. I tell them, you can never, I don't want to ever hear you say you're broke again. And people love me for that and hate me for it. But, I'd be the first to tell people you can never say that again. And I'm serious about it. And I look at them, that's exactly why you're broke, because you're so convinced you're telling other people. Man. And then they're like, oh shit. Okay, right?
So like we were saying, like the words are very powerful. The words that come out of your mouth, the words that go through your mind, they're powerful. You're programming your life. But if you're moving forward and you're one of those people that want to try it out, it's very imperative that you tap into your emotions and believe it. Because if you're just half-assing it, trying to speak something into existence that you really don't believe down in your gut, right? You're just speaking it to speak it. And then later on, you're going to be like, fuck, that didn't work. So I challenge you to tap into your actual feelings and believe it and feel that energy as you're saying it. And don't fucking stop saying it until you actually believe it and you feel it. If you get goosebumps, that's a good sign. And that's where you should start. Engage your feelings and engage your emotions, because those are the powerful tools that we have within our body to help us as well as you're speaking these things into existence. And I say that because this past week, I have been, I should have put it, watching my words. I have been working towards manifesting more of my goals and more of my dreams. And I have allowed things to come into my life, or things have come to my life, and I have allowed them to affect my mental state. So as I tapped into trying to meditate and manifest these things, like speaking things into existence, I have found it very fucking challenging this last week to even believe it, to even feel it. And it's frustrated me because it almost felt like I'm starting over for a second. Even though I got all this knowledge, all this stuff, I'm very grounded. When it came to, like, for example, I was um, looking at pictures of my Lamborghini, murdered out, all black, sitting in it, and and that's what I was trying to like meditating, right, to bring it to existence and speaking it to existence. And holy shit, man, like I hadn't done it in a while, and I was very, very challenged with believing it, with bringing my emotions into it. And I would only do it a little bit at a time because I didn't, shit. Speaking like that seed, I didn't want to plant that seed and keep digging it up and fuck up the growth of it. So I do it a little bit at a time, and I found some resistance, so I'd pull back. I was like, okay, I'll come back to that. But I'm saying it because I had some resistance with it, even through all this work, all this process, not allowing myself to do it every day. I was hitting some barriers this week, man, and which I'm still currently in this moment working through. But I know since I've been there, I know that I will allow myself to get back to that space. And everything, this Lambo, this jet, this money, whatever I got cracking, I'm not going to stop until I get my emotions back to that believable state, and my words and my actions, my emotion, everything aligned. And once everything aligns, it's good to go. And since I've already been in there and I've experienced that, I know what that's going to feel like. I know what that's going to look like.
It reminds me of religion because it very much is. It can be I mean, this shit's paralleled so crazy,
It is.
but realistically, in religion, people's faith is tested nonstop, and someone dies in their family, they lose something bad in their life happens, a family member gets in a car, like something really messed up happens, right, in their life, and they have to maintain their faith, and it's tested, and it takes them some time to change perspectives, to look at that situation differently, as opposed to being a victim, to keep their faith, and it's constantly tested. I mean, every day, day in, day out, to stay in a high faith of that everything's going to be all right, and go is a rough and tough thing. I think from a speaking into existence standpoint, it helps you stay there. I've watched Will. You guys have seen me. I've seen Berto. We've all been in the shitter and then out, and then one of us is super high vibration and the other's hella low and not feeling it. And for instance, just hearing both of you guys came on the call, actually pretty hyped. I thought, I didn't know you were going through anything, Berto, other than what is obvious, that you've been dealing with us last week. But Will comes in way starkly different than he was from an attitude standpoint last week. But what's he talking about? He's talking, and from I think actions, I mean, don't look at it like take action, I'm saying, but actions are kind of another form of speaking things into existence. If you're living them and breathing them and doing them, things that are what you're thinking you want to do and what you're trying to manifest, and you're doing some sort of activity towards that, it brings your belief way up. Will just made 4 pages layouts and stuff in his comic book situation. He's reached out to the person who's going to partner with him on this whole thing, and I guarantee, and he hasn't said anything about his belief system, but I guarantee his belief system is through the fucking roof because of it. It's being involved in it and doing something that helps bring your belief up. For me, I always have said I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, but until I'm actually doing it and physically taking the time every day to touch it and do it, I kind of like struggle to believe. Like today was a day where I got to a point with these videos and these things that are going to be pretty freaking monumental when they're done, and was like, okay, I can fucking see it now. And I literally, it's about 4:50, not that matters, but about that time, and I was like, oh, fucking A, okay, here it goes, finally. And I started to think back when I first spoke it into existence. I said, I'm going to do this, 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 and this is going to happen. And I had papers drawn all over the fucking studio about it. And then I'm like, and now here we are. And then I'm like, then I see these other things starting to move, and I'm like, okay, all this time I was sitting there, much like Berto said, with this, well, it's not happening yet. It's not gonna, and I'm doing that to myself. And then lo and behold, no matter what, it still is here, and these things are about to pop that I got going on, and I'm like, holy shit, it's like sticking to it and actually being involved in it consistently. And I have been real heavy on it. I've already been heavy on it, but I wanted to be like almost like eye bleeding heavy on it, because when I do take action on something, for me it really helps me to go ham. I need to do 16 hours. I need to do 20 hours to make me feel like I'm really doing something and using every fucking second of my day. I like being a machine. I like waking up at 5 a.m. and going till fucking midnight. That's just my shit, right? And it's like my birthday's coming very shortly from now, and my goal is to give myself that birthday present of a delivery of my hard work and what's come to fruition based on me putting in that work. But through that, deadline and action, my belief system started going up, because I started to see some fruits, and I could see, okay, holy shit, it's almost like I planted a tree and now it started to blossom, and I'm seeing some fruit come out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this thing's bearing fruit. Oh, shit, celebrate, right? We're going to have fucking apple blossom over this shit. And that's where I've been. And today was that day where I'm going, okay, we're fucking coming around the bend here, getting over the hump. But I'm a firm believer that you got to get in, dig in with your hands, and then doing that, you can see it, your belief system automatically goes up. Because every time I take time away or things that I know are distracting me, like when I had all this shit happened after this eBay thing shut down. I had to heavily focus on something that I don't want to do the rest of my life, but it is the answer for right now, right? Which is I got to feed my kids kind of thing. And doing that took me away from really driving my big goals, and it really dropped my fucking belief system down, my whole purpose and what I'm trying to do, because I'm over here trying to do the makeup thing, which is, hey, I got to pay these bills. They're due this month. Not a video or a funnel or a beat website. None of that shit matters, like to my landlord. They're like, yeah, where's my check, motherfucker? So, but all that activity that was pulling me away from that really started dropping my belief system. So I'm a firm believer, like Will doing those couple of 4-page spreads is what helps his belief system go way up. It's speaking it into existence in that way, because he's got to talk about doing the pages. Because are you not speaking into existence your comic book by calling Damon Anthus and actually saying, yo, what is it you need me to give you so that you can go ahead and draw these pictures? You're speaking that.
Absolutely. But I don't think, for myself, I already have the belief. My problem is fucking following through with all this stuff that I got going on, man, so I can have it out there in the universe to do something. That's where I'm at, because I am, I'm a student of this material on a daily basis. I'm riding to work and I'm listening. I take my book to work and I read it on my break. I'm writing part of my comic book story. I also started the Mind Tools TV thing as well. Started on WordPress and started building that also. Been taking a incredible amount of action as well, and like Robert always says, it feels really good taking all this action. It for me taking this action, the feeling that taking this action makes me feel like, because I can see the pictures that I obviously can already see, because I'm already kind of insane like that. But taking this action just really makes me feel good, knowing that, okay, this is what I can see is going to happen, because what I'm doing is reflecting what I'm seeing. And this is a lot of the point that Robert has pointed out a lot of times throughout these videos as well, is You know, you say you want to do something, but what are you doing when you go home from work? Are you watching Netflix? You know, if you want to lose weight, but then you're sitting in line at McDonald's, your actions aren't lining up with what you want. You know what I mean? So this is it's very huge. Uh, you know, to follow through with what you want to. You know, it's almost, you know, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to give up to learn this information and accept change in your life, man, to have it? You know, you're gonna have to give up. You're gonna have to give up Netflix. You're gonna have to give up your golf game for a while. You're gonna have to stop partying and hanging out with the same people that ain't doing shit to allow yourself the opportunities that you're creating by changing your thinking.
That's a great lead in, Will, to what I was thinking about. And that's quieting down the noise in your head. And that means quieting down all the other bullshit around yourself and life. All the negative people, the fucking TV that's unnecessary, all the news, the radio stations, Facebook, all that bullshit, kick it out the fucking window. The more of that shit that you have in your life, the less chances that you will be able to tap in and actually do this work. And I'm telling you that from experience. I don't watch fucking TV. Every once in a while, I'll catch a football game, but I don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. You know, occasionally I'll go on a date and go on a movie, but that's very fucking seldom. And I say this as far as quieting down the noise in your head, and those are some things that I just mentioned, but you get to figure out what's going on in your head, what's going on emotionally, all that stuff. And once you start figuring that stuff out and dealing with it, more chances that you're going to be able to tap in and actually start speaking things into existence, manifesting it, believing it, bring your feelings up to par, and just come in full circle with it, you know. And it takes getting rid of bullshit out of your life, out of your mind, because if you don't, it's gonna hinder your process. And I say that because of I still to this day allow things to come into my life that affect me, that don't, I'll say it this way, that do not serve my life and my purpose of where I'm going. So I get to choose to opt out of those relationships, those thoughts, those behaviors, whatever's not going to serve me, man. And once I do that, I'm able to funnel my energy, my thoughts in the right direction of where I'm heading and how I want to live my life. And the harder it is, the more you believe in your programs and don't recognize them, because you're going to start living that life the same, just that full circle. Once you start recognizing them, and you'll be able to adapt and make your changes. You know, and for me, that's been crucial.
I think that like you said, I mean, a lot of this is like you guys are students of the game, but be very careful of being just a student, you know, because then you're just a student. I can go to fucking guitar class every day, learn a guitar, but meanwhile, rest in peace. There's Eddie Van Halen on stage shredding the shit out of it because he chose to go fucking get on stage and join a rock band and actually do it. So you can sit there and student it up, but you got to apply that information and start putting it into play. And there's all these things that can distract you, as Berto was saying. Whereas it's, what do you do every day? I go out and I go, you know what? I want to, because right now I'm working for myself, right? So I got every day to fucking screw off if I want to, right? Nobody's gonna yell at me except for my bills. So next thing you know, it's like I want to go to the bar and have a beer, man. You know, and I'm like, I ask myself every day, does that align with your purpose? Does this behavior align with what you're trying to do and what you're trying to be? No, it does not. And I'm like, fuck, I really want a beer. I really want to go have a beer and chill at a bar because it makes me feel good and I love doing it. But then, hey, man, you don't have to fucking execute or deliver on your big purpose or any of that stuff. You can go be Norm at the fucking Cheers all day if you want. That's going to be an easy task, right? So every time before I go do that, I always go, you know what? Do I want to do that? I thought about calling my friend Oscar. He's a good guy, you know what I mean? But hanging out with him would mean that I'm not doing what I need to be doing, right? Means that I have to forego execution on my goal that day. And so I go, no, I mean, he's a great guy, but the relationship with him doesn't help me get to where I'm trying to be. And as cool as a guy as he is, him being in my life doesn't get me where I'm trying to be. I like the guy. I think the guy's awesome. I mean, he's fun to talk to, blah blah, and shoot the shit with. But at the same time, a friendship isn't doesn't align with what I'm trying to do right now. You know what I mean? Friends doesn't work for me right now. Friends doesn't help me. I think about the number one thing that hindered me living in Wenatchee, Washington was that I had too many friends. I had so many friends, or maybe I didn't have the willpower to just tell them to fuck off while I go work on my music. But I have all these new drum machines and all this new stuff, but I had too many friends. So I'd find myself riding dirt bike, camping, snowboarding, snowmobiling, uh, whatever the hell else we did. I probably covered most of it. Go boating, uh, all these different things we did, and it's like all of that took me away from what I was trying to do. I said I wanted this, but I'm hanging out with friends that are doing something else. Uh, so every day I ask myself that does this friendship align with what I'm trying to do? I like this person. This person's great, but nurturing that friendship will take away from what I'm trying to do. And so I opt out of it. And I do that on a consistent basis.
It was crazy, man. Like it's the relationships that we allow into our lives either make us or break us. They help us or they hinder us. And yeah, I can go into a lot of examples, but I won't go there. As far as
I laugh because my wife always teases me that I don't have any friends, and I always go, "Fuck yeah, that's awesome."
I'm the same way.
Me too. Just how I like it. That's what I tell them. Just how I like it.
If I had friends, they'd try to borrow money or some shit.
Yeah. And man, it was funny is that you were mentioning like going to the bar and all that shit. So earlier, my daughter and I went and had or got dinner, order in this little bar here, went and grabbed it. Sure enough, everybody fucking knows me. And as I'm looking at all this, it's like this environment does not serve me right now, where am I in life and where I'm headed. I shook some hands, I said goodbye, but my old days, if I didn't have my purpose, my mission, my goals, everything that I have in life right now, the old me would have said, fuck whatever I got going right now or tomorrow. I'm going to sit here and have some fun with you guys, drink some beers, whatever. But knowing where I'm headed in life, I said, I'm out. Peace. Later, guys. Like there's that can be done any day, any of the week for the rest of my life. This where I'm headed now in life is I got one shot to do it.
And the gap is closing.
Every fucking minute, every second, every day, every week, every month. This year's almost over. It's crazy.
So fast. That's why I just said, that's why I said, fuck it. And I am going to chase down exactly what I've been thinking I need to be seeing right now. And I'm not waiting. And then all of a sudden, I got people now that might float the money for that. And I'm having more ideas popping in my head on where to go to make the shit, to have a patent, to be able to go somewhere and be protected. Oh, man. And just do it because, and the more I think about it, the more bigger I think of all the other things beyond the main things that are happening. And I'm like, oh, wow. It could even be this, and it could be for this.
You start to think, I'm not really thinking big enough. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm like, then it just makes it more like I need to act on it now, because even if it does come out, there's so many other things that could be added onto that I'm like, okay, there's still more. So I'm just like, I'm not waiting, and
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the pieces are coming in, man, quick.
Yeah. And we touched on it earlier, man. It's an everyday work. You can't do this one day, the next day, not that type of thing. Especially the older we are, or you are, I'll say for those that are watching, the more programs you're going to have running you in life. So the more of this type of work you expose yourself to, the better off you're going to be. And actually implementing it and putting it into action. I get to do it every fucking day, and I'm talking from the moment I get up, every second in there where I'm driving, I'm not interacting. I'm pumping shit in my brain and in my subconscious of that's going to benefit me in this type of work.
It's huge. It's huge, man, because I caught, especially like cutting down the social media. I used to think that was bullshit, right? And I tell you what, man, I shut it down. Everybody started dropping out, and then all of a sudden, the new stuff that I need to do to get to where I'm currently at started coming in, and then it all freaking happened. But it's not. For people that are starting out, you're gonna hit walls where, like, you're gonna feel like shit because you don't believe it. You're gonna feel like shit because you start thinking about how you're gonna get it, and then realize there's no categorically way I can even think that I know how I'm gonna get it. And those are the times that you should even be happier, because guess what? You don't have to know how you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? You just have to you have to just get rid of that and just feel good thinking about it, man, and just doing it, and then everything will start to change, but you will come against walls that are like, you're feeling like shit, and those are the best times, because you can use that energy and turn your back to it, and because that just means you're concentrating on what you don't want, and that's the next time that you can clearly define what you do want, and then start blasting that out with that same negative energy, but you're using it in a positive way to blast what you do want.
Yeah. One of the things that has helped me through that, Will, when every time I hit rock, I mean, I've seemed like I was up against a wall that I cannot get over, through, around, underneath, was, it's been a while. I've listened to it multiple times. I think it was Jim Rohn, that life is seasons, man. There's a spring, there's a summer, there's a fall, there's a winter. So with that being said, if you're going through some fucking harsh winter times and you ain't seen fruit and things of your seeds that were coming, be very fucking patient, stay positive, keep going forward, because spring is fucking coming, and right after spring is summer. And what's in the summer, you're going to start harvesting shit up. So everything is a season, and whatever you're going through right now in life, good or bad, it will probably pass. Most likely will pass. So with that said, that's what helped me a lot of times, is like, fuck, man, I'm in some shit right now, right? You felt like you can't swim across this shit creek or river or whatever it was. But knowing that information, I was like, okay, this is, as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, putting the action in, this is a season that I get to grow through. And when I get to the other side, I'm stronger, I'm better. And I look back like, holy shit, I went through that. And now I'm getting momentum. And so if any of you out there that ever feel, when you're going through these process and you feel like you're hitting a wall, just remember it's a season. And you get to grow through it. And on the other side is better. You'll be able to look back like, holy shit, I did that. And that's going to give you strength. That's going to give you courage. That's going to give you, some power to keep moving forward. And that's the beauty process. You get to grow through it.
So it's funny you were talking about how you were at the bar and you were like, I'm making a choice, I'm out of here, right? And I don't know if we lost Berto. He's got that Ozark Mountain internet. So so, so no, it's like I knew when I was living in Wenatchee that the friendships were sucking my time away from what I was trying to do. I knew I had a purpose, and I knew. And as soon as I moved to Vancouver, I remember being relieved in the sense of like, this is pretty cool. I don't have any distractions. No friends asking me. I could have less willpower, and stay focused. And feel less like being a jerk to people. Like, sorry, I can't hang out. I'm making my music, and then have friends, going, oh, I guess you can afford that because you bought that studio, and little wise cracks like that because they don't understand your vision and where you're trying to be. Having less friends actually helps you to have less haters, less people to just try and pull you down to where they're at. Those are the people, not to just stereotype everybody that's sitting at a bar because I thoroughly enjoy a bar, but everybody sitting in the bar is not doing what they were set out to do in their purpose. If they had a goal, guaranteed being at that bar getting fucked up it does not serving that purpose. They're all fucking letting off the gas for a while, right? And if you find yourself at that bar less than or more than once a week, you can guarantee that you're at the bar 3 days a week, that you're letting off the gas 3 days a week. Man, 3 days a week, that's 52 weeks a year. 52 times 3, that's 156 fucking days that you're not fucking, that's 156 days further away from where you were trying to be. Sitting at the bar, and not to mention you fucking tapped out quite a bit if you add how much money that is. But it's like that's not, nobody in there is trying to get further in life. You know what I mean? And if they are, and they're there 3 days a week, they're kind of fucked up on how to get there. Unless they just think speaking it into existence, talking about it at the bar all the time is going to work. And maybe they make it happen the next 4 days a week. You see the guys that are like rock stars, and sure, they're at the bar and they're getting fucked up all the time, but they're already made it to where they were trying to be, right? They're already living that dream and that existence. They're on stage every night, and now their extracurricular time is theirs. You know what I mean? But you don't remember the fucking 9 million hours and 10,000 hours of time getting to genius level on a guitar in their bedroom where they didn't have any friends. They got to get to that point before they had the girls and the money and the fame and all that shit. You don't realize the amount of shit they ate to get there. And a lot of people compare their lives. Well, Eddie Vedder's in the bar all the time, and he still made it. No, he made it, and then went to the bars and did all whatever the hell he wanted to do. But yeah, I think it's funny how like people will do things that are, the action is opposite, the actual opposite of what they say their purpose is. So again, like Will said, you want to lose weight, yet you find yourself in the line at McDonald's asking for the fucking new Travis Scott meal. So that probably isn't going to serve your purpose of losing weight. And if you find yourself in there 4 and 5 days a week, you're probably not going to get there, right? So it's my point is, if your actions don't harmonize with what your goals and chief aims and dreams are, then it's probably not going to happen. You know what I mean? You can't just sit there and go, yeah, I'm going to be a billionaire. Yet here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the bar every day. Unless you meet somebody fucking rich as fuck at the bar, you have a great idea and you've just been sitting there fucking talking about the coolest thing, But those are the chance things. They're probably less likely to happen than somebody putting in the work,
Yeah.
This is huge too. I want to go back to the internet and everything too. Also for myself, I noticed that, it's very important to stay in your mindset and your thoughts, because once I found myself, if I get like on the internet right in the morning, or even like if I do get on Facebook, the next thing this is after I'm feeling really good, I'm chill, I woke up, I have a little routine in the morning. And then if I fuck up and I go on Facebook, next thing I know, I'm watching Mike Tyson videos for an hour and a half and shit of him kicking everyone's ass. And then I'm just like, and then I snap out of it and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I totally lost my mindset. And I'm in a total another fucking place. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just do? And then I have to like go back and turn my music on, shut everything off, lay down, focus, and then I can get back to that place of chill. But it's so easy, man, to get tainted by just getting on Facebook in the morning. I used to not believe it. I used to hear about this stuff. I'd be like, whatever, man. And then I started noticing once I started taking different actions, then when I went back to those actions of the internet and Facebook, I could totally feel the difference in my brain after watching an hour and a half of Mike Tyson fucking knockout videos and shit. You know, I just feel like all clustered in my brain. I'm not focused. Once I'm able to snap out of it and realize what I'm doing, it's almost like, dude, it's on purpose, man, to get us in those zones where we're not doing shit, but being in those zones. And we're not expanding, doing anything else. I'm serious.
I think the exact same shit. Well, I was just thinking it right now because I've been thinking it. It's like all this shit is almost set up to set us up for not succeeding.
Is
fucking sidetrack us from everything else. It's fucking crazy.
That's dude. You guys, that is like.
I swear, man.
But listen. That is all it is. Set up to stage us to just be basic ass confused. They add noise and chaos into our vibrations.
Yeah.
Every fucking morning, I'm up early. Yeah. And I'm doing my shipping thing, and I'm doing my stuff, getting ready for the day. And Jess gets up and turns on the fucking news.
Oh,
and
God.
I'll be goddamn, dude. I almost fall over. It's so bad. It's like doom and gloom and doom and gloom and doom and gloom. And then there's going to be a fucking typhoon and a fucking 10,000 COVID and 4 million and this and the deficits. And I'm like, oh my God, they're literally trying to fucking scare everybody. I don't understand. I almost have a heart attack every time I watch it. I can't even fucking watch it. And then thank God when the kids wake up, she turns on Curious George and it calms me. And it's just like, I'm curious. And I'm like, you know.
This is legit, man. Like, this is huge. You know, you without even knowing it, you'll fuck your brain up and you'll ruin your whole day of you another day of you being able to create what you want when you get stuck in those zones. Now you can get out of it. I'm able to get out of it, but it takes me, I have to sit down a minute and then listen to the little music I have. And then I can get back to that. Ooh, okay. You know, the powerful point within myself that I lose when I get into those zones. Yeah. And I never felt it before until I started, you know, changing up what I'm actually doing, you know, and it's 100%. They are trying their fucking damnedest to keep us from doing anything but watching.
They aren't trying. They have succeeded.
Yes. Look at the fucking masses.
Yeah.
It won't just fuck your day up. It would have fucked your whole life up.
Yeah.
It'll fuck your whole life up. And before you know it, your fucking life is over. You're checking out and you're still stressed out of some bullshit.
Well, every day you start up to watch the news so you can actually see like the weather report and kind of go, okay, should I wear pants today or shorts? And then next thing you know, like, and then a bomb hit fucking, and then and I'm like, you're like, fuck, man. I literally like don't understand people don't just kill themselves on the daily. It's fucking pretty heavy duty shit, man. Nonstop all the time. And I'm like, Jess is just sitting there on her phone, chilling, watching that shit, and I'm like, man, this stuff is fucking terrible.
I think the same thing. How come my neighbors aren't shooting themselves and I'm listening to it? Because this shit is horrible. Even the commercials, everything, man, it's when you oh my God, people, please, you have to watch these, man, and start implement these so you can separate yourselves and see it for yourself.
Yeah, my Facebook routine now is more like I'll go and and just check to see if somebody's messaged me or commented on something, I'll scroll to the first slide that comes up. I don't scroll down and see if it's like, hey, last year you posted this picture of Jameson. And I'm like, oh yeah, repost, and then I get off the bitch. I literally don't sit on there for hours. But if you do scroll long enough, I thought it was so funny you said that. It is a Mike Tyson video, and I love me some Mike Tyson. So like next thing you know, I'm watching that shit forever. But it takes you away from what your focus is on the day and really trying to be laser focused. Because here's my thing about this. It's not so, it isn't that serious. No, it isn't that serious, right? Just live your life. I get it. But if you stack a few laser focused days and then weeks and then months together, holy shit, will you get somewhere. And you lose those days or months and weeks and whatever the fuck math is. You lose those by fucking around and getting sidetracked by the news or by your Facebook, and you start going about your day willy-nilly. I notice myself, if I do YouTube, I don't do it now because I have hella definite purpose, but like I used to sit there and I would like, my goal today is, it's a Saturday, I'm going to get in the fucking studio and I'm going to rock these beats. You can see it on my wall. It says 20 pack and all this shit I never finished. And you know, I'm going to get this stuff done. Okay, I'm going to start at 9 o'clock and I'll watch a YouTube video. And then I go down this rabbit hole of YouTube videos. And then next thing you know, it's 5 p.m. Jess is coming home. Now I'm like, well, I got to do the fucking husband thing. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh fuck. Next thing you know, now we're drinking. I'm about to knock my shit over. So next thing you know, it's like you know, there goes the whole fucking day. And I'm like, what did I accomplish today? But you add and you attach those days of non-action and no progress, and you start adding them together, you go, fuck, that's 150 days this year, you know, or 150 days. However it works. For some people it's more because they watch Game of Thrones and they're willing to fucking put in 8 hours a day. My thing is, I noticed that if I stay laser focused and don't do the Facebook news thing, I never do the news thing, but the Facebook thing, I attach a couple of those days together and you get 3 and 4 of those in a week. And you start going, oh, fuck, man. My belief system shot through the roof. I have really fucking gained some ground here. Holy shit. You know, for me, it's been huge because I've got this deadline of my birthday, right? And that's helped me just fucking hammer down, dude. You know, today I tapped out. I had an hour I gave up today. And I'm just going to admit it. Today I gave up 1 hour of my day before the podcast. 1 hour. Because I fucking got this video to the point where I felt, okay, it finally feels right. Okay, this is dope. Even though we got a bunch of fucking changes in the music, but either way, I know how to shift all that around. But I got it to a point, and I was like, accomplish. See, Rob, if you just mold the clay long enough, eventually it starts. But you just got to commit to the time with it, right? And then I got it to a point, and I gave up 1 hour of my day today, and I just fucking chilled. And then I started feeling anxiety going, you know, you're just sitting around. But I'm like, I hit everything to a stopping point, and I fucking fucked off an hour today. And that was because I hit accomplishment. I was like, fuck, and I nailed it. But that was because I tied in a few of those days where I didn't look at Facebook in the morning, and I didn't do this stuff, and I just stuck with my guns and stuck with it and just chiseled out a couple days of action. And then you tie those few together, and then all of a sudden you go, man, I've actually made something that kind of exists now to where I could really do something with all this. You know, and it takes a couple of good days, you know, 2 or 3 really good days to create something big. But you'll be surprised how many days you don't actually put in of that non-confused start off on Facebook and Tyson videos that steers you left to your whole day, and then go, fuck, I just fucked off this whole day. But you don't fuck off. Here's a challenge to everybody out there listening, all 0 of you. I'm speaking that into existence. No, right? Hold on. But that's the whole thing is, everybody just take 3 days and be strict about it. And hell, that works with music too. Or not music, sorry, I'm always thinking about music. That works with working out too. If you just took 3 days of hard workout, good for 3 days, watch yourself start to go, okay, I'm going to keep on this rhythm. But 3 days of real action towards whatever it is your purpose is, whatever your goal is set, and you just do 3 days of being strict and following that groove. Watch yourself have a ball of something that exists where you kind of go, okay, now I believe I can do something. 3 fucking days is all it's gonna take, and you'd be surprised. But most of you motherfuckers won't even put 3 days and attach them together. You can't put 3 days this month and then one day the next, or you can put one day this month, one the next month, and one 3 months after that, and think that you're doing something. 3 days consecutively. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it happens to be. 3 days, put in 4 hours a day. Guarantee you'll come up with some ball of shit where you start to go, okay, this could really fucking turn into something.
Yeah, our life is made up by our habits. The habits that I have, I either get to embrace those because it's given me the success and achievements that I've desired. Or on the other hand, I also get to own the reason that I'm not to the place that I've wanted. I haven't reached my goals because of those habits, whether it's weight loss, whatever it is, financial. I get to own it either way because to the end of the day, it's my fucking habits, whether they're going to make me or break me, make me successful or not, make me, whatever, get my health up to par. It's my habits. Our habits is what dictate our future, man. And my question to the people are out there, what are your habits? Every day with a minute and I'm saying from the minute that you get up to the minute that you go to sleep, what are your habits? What?
The minute you get up is the most important. Again, they say this: win the morning. If you can win the morning, you win the day, you win the week, you win the month, you win the year. So you
Yeah,
start out by winning the morning, and you notice that the morning shows on the news are the most fucked up and chaotic with the bad doom and gloom. Nobody wants you to win the morning, so you got to win the morning. You win the morning, and that, again, that's your habits.
yeah. So yeah, ask yourself those questions: what are you doing from the moment you get up throughout the process of the day to the minute that you lay your head on the pillow and you pass out? What's your habits? Are you playing video games? Are you Netflixing? Are you watching the news? Are you Facebooking it? What's your habits?
And you
And
you
then
gotta win. You gotta win the morning, or you got. Sorry, hold on. You gotta start off right off as soon as you open your eyes and start winning now, because it's hard to right the ship halfway through the day. And I had a little slump in the day because I did the little favor for the kids because his joysticks on his controller didn't work, and he's like, "Dad, come on, man," and I'm like, "Fuck, okay." So I got to fix his controllers. And then I sat down for a second, and Eddie Van Halen passed away, so I watched a video on that, and so there goes a half hour, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel the fuck it sink into me. And I'm all of a sudden chilling. I start to slump into the couch. And I'm like, okay, I've got to get up right now. It's super hard to right the ship. And then I got into my groove again, got back on schedule, and kept it moving. But it's harder to do it later in the day if you started off your day shitty. Again, if I start off the day eating good, I'll probably finish the whole day eating good, going, man, I've been doing good all day, and all of a sudden I feel good. But if I start off by eating like shit, I'm going to continue the whole day eating like shit. I'm not going to get in the middle of the day and go, now, from here on, I'm going to have a nice, healthy fucking juice or a shake and then go for a run. No, you started off eating bagels and cream cheese and a burger. Fucking, you're not going to all of a sudden right the ship in the middle of the day. So you got to start off from the jump, beginning of the day. And then you find out that it'll be easy to get to the end of the day. It's harder to start off like shit and then do it. So you got to start on the toilet. As soon as you wake up, you take a shit. Don't get on Facebook, man. Do something different.
It's pretty huge, man. All this stuff, all this stuff is huge.
But I'll switch it to two man. I already got that set up. Yeah, no, it. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just Play with my video stuff. This is also how simple it is.
It's easy from an actionable standpoint in the real world, but it's not climbing a mountain. But it is climbing a mountain in your mind. Your mind has a mountain, and that's what you got to climb. It is like, but physically out here in the real world, to touch tangible, no, it's just do it. Go to the gym and lift a few weights and run in the morning, and you'll fucking lose some weight. Stop eating so many fucking hamburgers, But there's a mountain in the mind. There's Mount Everest of the mind, and that's why I say it's not easy.
It is. It's
On national television, what are you talking about?
national, everywhere, world, global. Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking ahead. Who knows? Shoot. You uh man, I forgot where I was at. But oh yeah, I can't, so I went back to so I kept focusing and focusing, and then but I turned it up a notch. I was like, I can't, you know. Yeah. Oh, just refocusing within days. I'm getting asked out for dinners. Another person has come in my life. It's just really exciting to see the path of how to achieve these numbers. The path to get to these numbers is starting to present itself, and not to mention the things I've already been doing, the comic book and the mind tool stuff, and the expanding on this material for people. And then the new thing, it's pretty it's really exciting. Robert just challenged you to a 3-day. I would really test yourself. If you can't do 3 days, then you need to really evaluate what you're trying to do. If you can't even do 3 days without waking up to Facebook, you should wake up and be like, wow, those motherfuckers got you. And that's a problem.
Yeah, 3 days. 3 days for me is just like I just noticed it. Like I'm doing it every day, but it's like three real. It's like for me, it's like I'll do like 24/7. I'm always hammering down, but like my thing is they're not all in the same vein. I'll be hammering down, but it'll be some on this and some on that and some on this and some on that and some on this and some on that. I'm always doing something, and I'm sure eventually it'll all come together. But 3 days on something specific you're trying to do. So if it's say for me, it'd be editing a specific video, not 5 videos, not one of these videos and some of this video, and then go mix some of this and then do the logo for this. Now you're just fucking all over the map. But 3 solid days on very specific thing and work on getting that closer to being done. Just 3 days of it, even if it's a 30-day project. But 3 days will have you seeing some sort of progress in that thing that will have you believing in that thing more, making you want to do that thing more, and it's more effortless as you go forward.
It's really important to start implementing this stuff, people. You can't express enough. I think it's really interesting how every one of these weeks is the dopest does better than the next one. They all tie together. It's just kind of amazing how naturally all these videos naturally going through this information is very exciting to just watch back. Like I'm excited for you people that are tuning in for the first time and watching. This is the path to help you to greater things. You know, we're doing this not just because we thought our conversations were dope. We were in my head, we were trying, well, this is a way to start getting this stuff out there, man, to help you that are listening. And to help us keep talking about it and talking about it and speaking it into existence. I can't wait to where we start, huh?
I was muted. My bad. Keep going, Will. You're good.
I can't wait till we, especially for myself, I'm shooting videos in better locations. You know what I mean? I've even switched up. Oh my gosh. It's just to be where we are now and then to show where we've gotten down the road here. That's when it's really going to start popping. Because they've been looking at these backgrounds, then be able to see us progress and to see us win. We can start proving it to people, other than just the minor wins and stuff like that.
For me, Will, it's shown a lot of people out there that it's possible, man. And coming from nothing to having some shit and almost losing it, almost ended up in prison, almost ended up in some bullshit, dead, whatever the fuck it may be, to bounce back to where I'm at in life and where I'm headed. With that, to be able to reach out to even just one fucking person out there in this world that may be able to relate to where I was at, where, you know, if I can just touch one person and change one person's life with my story, that's I'm happy with that. You know, and that's my purpose behind of where I'm at with this is just to show we all seem basic, right? When we were coming up, but like maybe we're not special, whatever the case may be, whatever your programs in your head are telling you. I'm sitting in front of you telling you that it is possible for anybody that's born into this world. It's very possible to go, it is possible 100% to go do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Very.
You know, and through this work, we get to either choose in to our life to live it on our terms, or we get to choose out. You know, and I'm choosing in, man. That's where I'm at. And that's changing my habits. That's changing my behaviors. That's changing the way I think, the way I speak, the way I act. It hasn't been easy. Do I go back every once in a while? Yes, I do. But now that I know the tools, I'm able to tap back into those tools and snap myself back in the grid, and let's keep going. So, anybody out there watching, it's a process. But if you choose to honor yourself and love yourself to enough to go out and create what you want to create in this life, then start, you know, jumping into some of this work and, you know, asking us questions. You know, if we got, I'm willing to share everything just to help one person. That's all I care.
Yeah. Uh, what success, you know, I think it's important too to pay attention to the small wins because those things are what's going to help you build confidence, you know, and get you on a momentum cycle, meaning, uh, you know, success builds confidence. Confidence creates activity, right? Activity creates, or activity creates the action, you know, which creates habits like success habits, which creates more success, right? And you just keep building. So it's good. You have to pay attention to the small stuff, you know, because that's what'll help keep you going. And also, too, uh, failure, failure, legal, you know, if you're not careful, you'll start thinking leads to lack of success, which is lack of activity or actions or failure habits instead of success habits, which equals more failures. You know, so it's important to pay attention to little things. Um, you know, remember we make up these rules in life, so make them so you win. You know, those small little chief aims, you know, that's a win. You know, even discovering what you don't want and feeling like shit is a success, and that'll build your confidence to start thinking about what you do want and build your momentum cycle and get out of the failure cycle that you're currently in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the small thing when it might not be exactly what Will's trying to say, but it sparks something in my mind from a winning standpoint of winning like a morning or whatever you're trying to do. Uh, that that piece of like I'll have like a list of stuff and it might be simple as go check the mail. It sounds fucking stupid, but go check the mail, drop off these packages, uh, go get gas, just like get some cheese, like real basic ass shit. But like mix that in with some of the bigger shit you got going on, because they're all part of what's gonna, all that little dumb shit is also stuff that's slowing you down from what you're trying to do. So at least achieve it. You know what I mean? At least get it done and execute it. But again, just crossing those little things off your list makes you want to do something more. I mean, that's why you got to break down things into baby steps sometimes. Like even like working out, man, just get the fuck up and go for a walk to the mailbox and then come back to the house. You know, like start there. You know what I mean? And then you're crossing off like, fuck yeah, I did that. Okay, well now you can't. Your mind starts to go. You know what? I want to do one more thing, and then one more thing, and then one more thing, and the next thing you start doing it. So if you attach good behaviors on how to get yourself to get off your fucking ass and do something with great mindset, and you put the two together, of course it's going to be mindset before action, because you can have action without a compass. It's like having a car with no GPS and you don't know how to get there and you need a GPS, and now you got a car that has the biggest engine in the world and a big ass tank of gas, but if you're driving in the wrong fucking direction, it's counterintuitive. So again, your mindset is your compass. Get your compass right, and then put some action behind it, because you can know where to go too, and then not press your fucking foot on that fucking gas. And it's as simple as write that on your list: step foot on gas, and you'll never get there either. You know, so you can sit there and look at your GPS all day. I know exactly where I'm going. It says take a left at Martin Street. Yet you never get in your car and go. Well, you're good as dead in the water. You know.
And I don't know. I don't know if or I touched on it where I was headed with it earlier, but for us to be able to speak these things into existence, we get to keep working on ourselves, our minds, our body, everything, and getting it to a point where it all aligns. And once everything aligns, it comes easier. You do it with like just peace, man. There's a sense behind it, you know. So the more you work on yourself, the more you get in this work and balance yourself out mentally, spiritually, physically, the stronger you become. You get to choose in and actually do the work. And once it all aligns, then it starts coming together easier.
The more you'll be able to start to see it. I've been speaking this shit. I've been doing 108 blasts of exactly what I want, and you know, and just speaking about it all the time makes you feel good. And then to see some shit start coming in that I couldn't even fathom. Some of the things and the people I've met, and getting taken to dinner last week. You know, to talk about some things and just moving forward. This is just really, really exciting. Speaking, not just speaking, but living it. I love going to bed at night, and I wake up, and I love waking up in the morning. When I go to bed at night and I'm listening to this music and I'm thinking about exactly what I want, not just what I want, but really what I'm concentrating on is what feeling I'm trying to get. Because it doesn't matter how I get there, really. You know, I think I know enough to take some action, but I've just really started concentrating on what I wanted to feel. Why do I want what I want? Because it always comes down to a feeling. And so I started concentrating on the feelings that I wanted, you know, which I think about how I'm going to get there. And that makes me feel good, you know what I mean? So I can attach these feeling good stuff to it. But then all of a sudden, man, the shit happens so quick. People, events. I started talking just yesterday. I was talking to my manager about this comic book, and I just said to him, and there was this guy in electrical walking by, and I literally said, "Hey man, I'm about to, you know, submit my first comic book here soon. I got some pages written. This guy walked by. Did I hear a comic book? This guy in electrical I work with brought out his phone comic book. Check this out. This is a character he just drew, showing me pictures of his character in a comic book he has, and he writes comic books and knows people that do animation and all this other stuff, and they work for him. And the guy, he's telling me, yeah, this guy charges $180 a page to draw this. And I'm just like, and I told my manager, look how fast this shit happens. I was just telling you, seconds later, guy walks by, comic book, started showing me pictures of his stuff that he's written, and talking about Netflix and
a random guy? Was it a random guy, or was it
that works there?
Oh, and he has employees, yet he works at Lowe's?
Yeah.
You spoke it into existence.
Yeah. You know, I've been thinking comic quite a bit now. Then I started taking the next level of action on it. I don't know how many times I've rewritten the same shit in 8 different notebooks. But no, it's like, okay, let me organize this shit and actually start drawing out the pen. But just the change was when I hit Damon up. And he wanted. That's when everything changed. Then I knew exactly what I needed to do. I'm going to draw I'm going to design every page. And I've been learning about how to make people flip the page and what to put there. It's just so exciting. But then to have somebody walk by at work like that, and now he's man.
Well, you put action behind it, Will. And you also, at some point in there was a shift inside of you where you actually believed it, you felt it, and like there was an emotional connection to it, right? Like it all came full circle for you. Right, Ron?
So you need to become his best. Hey, you need to become his best friend now. That's your new buddy.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, and he's talking about he has his. Man, these characters were dope too. Talking about, he was telling me about ways I should submit to Netflix and all kind of because I told him, I'm so glad I spoke first, so it didn't look like I was jumping on his bandwagon, right? I spoke first about I'm not sure if I want to write 12 comic books, but I want to really just get this into a Netflix series. And he was like, me too. You know what I mean? And then started talking to me about the ways that he knows people that could help with that.
Hey, Will. Hey, make sure you put that fucking comic book in a book form before you tell that fucker your story.
Right.
Because if he already knows people, and you be telling him your whole story, he'll go write that shit. He knows them already and put it out. So I
haven't told anything about the story.
Yeah,
I didn't even tell
finish the story and the concept with Damon, at least the first book, so you can say, see, I've already got copyright because you already wrote it down in copy, and you don't have to actually go anywhere and certify it. But when there's a tangible piece that it was done, because in Damon's art setup, he'll have you guys will have correspondence on the story, and you'll have proof that you had that shit first. But if this guy knows people, you don't want to be telling him your whole shit. Keep him close, but don't be telling him your whole shit.
I didn't tell him anything about the story. I just said I have one. I didn't even tell him the title. Nope. But yeah, I hear you. But the point wasn't about all that. It's just the point of speaking it into existence and really focusing on it. And I've been going to bed at 7 o'clock at night because I love just laying there thinking. I swear, I know it sounds crazy, but I don't give a shit because I've had some crazy stuff kind of coming in here.
Good. As long as you're thinking and doing something, but it sounds like you have fucking 3 more hours you could be utilizing to do something.
Well, not every day. I mean, sometimes I get off later. I'm just saying I've been going to bed earlier. just because I kind of need to sleep, to be honest. I have a sleeping disorder. You know, I like getting up at 5 o'clock and getting shit done.
It's gonna be different for everybody, man. You know, some people are just what works best for you. You'll figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
Either you do need sleep or you don't. You just learn how to use your time.
Most people who sleep too much don't do shit.
My brain is fried from.
Maybe.
You show me a sleeping ass motherfucker who's achieved something, and I'll laugh.
Yeah, but you also have those motherfuckers that are overdoing it, putting all this work in and going nowhere, just spinning your wheels because you're not honoring yourself with proper rest, getting your mindset right. You know, everybody operates different.
Exactly.
If you do enough work, you'll fall asleep on accident. You'll be fine.
Just make sure you're not spinning your wheels.
That's true. So, assuming you're not spinning your fucking wheels, don't be sleeping for fucking 18 hours a year, 24.
18's too much, motherfuckers. 4 to 6.
Get your ass up.
Get the fuck up and get cracking.
Get cracking, you little bitch, because most of you motherfuckers are sleeping your fucking 18 hours a day, and then you're watching Netflix the other 5. However many that is.
And then
More.
Madden for another 4.
Yeah, you're fucking off more hours than there actually are on a day.
Oh shit.
If I could crack a virtual whip, I would. So I was thinking
You bet that.
a virtual whip right through the thing. Whoop, get that
Now
fuck up.
Now we're gonna
Go ahead, write that down.
we're gonna bring in sounds into the Zoom call now.
Hey, we could do it, no problem. They got the Elgato that's got the little buttons you press and it has all the you could do all these like cool ass things. Like, oh whoa, woo. It's the normal thing. I was thinking, guys, I know we're just rounding the end of it. I want everybody in the comments to actually answer this, and then we'll be able to pick. I was thinking about changing the name of the Frequency Control podcast to the Frequency Control Show. Like, as opposed to limiting it, like narrow-minded, it's just a podcast. I think it's more of a show. You know what I mean? And it almost rhymes. Frequency Control Show. I don't know. But it's more of a show than just a podcast.
I hate podcasts. Normally I write just live stream because I don't like the podcast at all, but I haven't said anything.
So moving forward, let's make it the show.
Yeah, Frequency Control.
Frequency Control Show. Good, because it looks better too in a logo form.
They must have made a bunch of pictures and shit. But I never liked podcasts. I've always said live stream every time I've been doing it. I went ahead and put podcasts on the pictures just so it wouldn't match what's normally been going on. But yeah, I agree 100%.
Perfect.
Yeah, Frequency Control Show. Faux show.
It's a show because we could be on television or anywhere with it, really. You start thinking about it, like I started looking at, you guys can't see it from the Zoom call, but from my angle I have now is more of a Howard Stern angle. And it's like, it's the Howard Stern show, but his whole setup is fucking looks like ours and a podcast setup. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. So in like what's them fools? Royce the 5'9" and Lupe Fiasco just did a show together. It's a Lupe and Royce show. And it's and it was like the show, and I was like, fuck, that's way better. Like, and it's just still a live stream podcasting thing, but I think podcast is so limiting in what this is, and really it's more of a show. You know what I mean?
So speaking into existence, we're going to be on XM radio here in a few, so stay tuned in. Frequency Control Show.
Yeah, Sirius, XM, Spotify, all over the map. Dude, there's no reason we can't.
No.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Wheels are turning.
Yeah.
I think he's got another background.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, so I can't knock it though. So I kept our colors in the podcast orange and shit and everything orange, even though I want to change all that color scheme. But because it's almost Halloween and it's October and fall, I just kind of left the orange. Like, you know what, fuck it, it follows that. So I might even put a pumpkin off to the left. Like just for like right now, like when it's Christmas time, maybe like have it a little bit seasonal. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, frequency control show. I like that. That's so much better.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Me personally, man, I'm kind of tapped out on the speaking to existence unless you guys want to keep expanding on it.
No,
Yeah,
I think I think we did a great job even in the beginning of explaining like the concept and really you speak it into existence, it happens. The 50 Cent thing, he's talking about this and all of a sudden it just happens. Speak about it, it's always front of mind, and shit happens for you.
there you go. Frequency control show. That's how fast it works. Speak it into
So,
existence, and there you see it.
so for me moving forward, man, one of the things that I guess not to jump the gun, but one of the things that I would love to do to get in touch with more of the viewers is showing them or telling them our story.
Oh, fuck.
So I say that because moving forward these next couple weeks, I would like to kind of share my story. I'd like Will to share his story, Rob to share his story. I don't know how you guys feel as far as content for the next show or 2, 3, 4, whatever.
I like it. Shoot, now do we go? I mean,
I
because
don't
our stories aren't so long that we need a whole hour, but do we do all of our stories in one show and like kind of like our origin story, and then you go for 20 minutes, I go, and then Will goes, or however the fuck we do it.
know about what exactly.
Story, Will.
Which story?
Your life, man. Where you come from? Where are you? Who are you, Will? What made Will? What made Willie Stride? What are your
I
trials?
think I
What are your trials and tribulations?
well
What's up? You know?
like for me it'd be more of a timeline. Like, hey, I grew up in California. I was kicked out at a younger age. Things that I feel like define me and really kind of who I am. I was kicked out at a young age. I spent a lot of my younger years struggling and fucking living on couches and shit like that. Grew up kind of a little bit thuggish and then started to figure my shit out, and then realized I had a love for rapping and music and started on my pursuit for that. And I've been on that pursuit ever since, and add in detail in the between, something simple.
Yeah. And then with that, basically ending what got you to this work. At what point did you finally surrender and accept it? You know what I'm saying? So a little bit of where we come from, how we got to where we're at. Because I wasn't always accepting of this work. I wasn't ever accepting religion or all this other shit. So like, what for me, it's more of where I come from to where I got me to this work.
Clarify work, because I think viewers aren't gonna understand what you mean by work. Like, you
By
mean
work, I'm
mindset,
talking about this, the whole frequency control,
the
our
mindset,
energy,
and
our
working it into your life.
mindset, everything that like to be able to accept this work, and it is work because we got to work on it every day. Our mindset, our behaviors, our programming, everything that we've been talking about. And at what minute did you, or I'll speak for myself, did I surrender to it and actually start pivoting my life around to practicing it every day, right? And how did I see those changes? But more for me is just to be able to share the viewers that I can relate to a lot of basic ass people, as you would call it, around the world. Where I came from, broke as fuck, a good family, whatever it was, to where I'm at now. And my journey has been completely fucking different than Rob's and completely different from Will's. So there's viewers out there that may think we come from a whole different realm of life. But in reality, we can relate with a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So more to show viewers that we're just like you know what I'm saying? We're just, and for the lack of words, basic ass motherfuckers like everybody out there in a way, right? Like, but we're not. We've evolved. Why did we evolve?
I've
Because we got
never
it.
been basic.
But you know what I'm saying? Just to try to relate to the viewers out there. There's a lot of shit that we've been through in life that can relate to people. But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
I'm already flowing. This is good. This is good. I don't think I've ever had a basic thought.
no, I haven't either, and that's what I'm saying. Will, is like we can connect with people on a whole different thing, even, but we have some similar stories with people out there of our background and where we come from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that said, I mean, I want to be able to show the viewer out there to say, hey, in a way, there's a lot of people out there that I might not connect with, but there's a whole bunch of other people that I do.
Exactly.
And so with you, and so with Rob, and like I said, my mission, if I can impact one fucking person in this world and change their life, or give them hope, or spin their life around and change it in a different direction, then I'm happy, man. And that's where I'm at with it.
I think that's kind of funny. It's like it all kind of lends its hand to like right now. Like I remember as a kid being really, really fucking good artist, you know, and just ask me, I'll tell you how great I am. But uh, as a kid, I always was like struggling with certain things drawing. Of course, to anybody else, I was the best artist, but I always struggled and thought, fuck, if someone would have just showed me different, I would have been here fucking 10 years ago drawing at this level. And if somebody would just show me that, and I remember telling myself as a probably a sixth grader that, man, I just wish I had like a little brother or someone that just was coming up so I could teach them how fast, like my kids can draw Spider-Man and the Hulk and all that shit hella quick, because I'm like, this is how you teach a kid to draw the Hulk. And if I need to teach someone how to ride a motorcycle, this is how you teach someone how to fucking ride a motorcycle, because my stepdad was fucking terrible at it. You know, I almost fucking died in the middle of a fucking street and get hit on by oncoming traffic because he's so bad at teaching. He's taught me shifting. It's a Coors Light can, and then a Coke can is neutral, and then second gear is another Coors can, third's another Coors can. And as a kid, you're like, what in the fuck does that mean? First, second, third gear. Like, next thing I wrap it out, fucking pin the throttle, almost fucking dying. But you know, as an artist, as a kid, like I always thought, man, I'd love to just teach one person to make it easier on them in their life instead of having to go through the 20 years it took me to get good at art. I mean, I was good compared to, but not as good as I wanted to be. It took me 20 years to get to where I wanted to be. And it's like I always had that in me that I wanted to teach. It's funny that you say just if you can affect one person, and it's like I always had that with that art thing. I just want one fucking person to not have to go through all the dumb shit I had to go through. The sad part about that is most of these motherfuckers are going to have to go through the dumb shit to figure it out. It's like me talking to my kids. Come on, Tommy, you're going to hurt your hand. And then he's just like, shut up, Dad. Next thing he hurts his hand. Like, I just told you fucking 63 times. But, most people have to learn the hard way.
Exactly. And that's where I was getting at. Like, that's for me to get my daughters and to this has been huge. But there is some things in life, man, that they still get to experience. And some people will call it failure. They get to learn through it. You know what I'm saying? And that's their personal choices and behaviors that are going to take them down that road. And then, but at least now I've fed them the information, and I will continue to feed them that information. Every day I send them a video or a book or something. And it gets to the point where they get to choose what direction they take it, because they got the knowledge. And if they take the wrong road, then I'll be like, oh fuck, course correct, let's go the other way. You know what I'm saying? But it's still presenting that information and getting it out there.
It's kind of cool to teach them stuff and then see them actually get it. Like for me, I teach them shit on a higher level like all the fucking time, and I'm thank God I have the information to teach them starting now. But it's like it's so funny because they'll like when you know it got to them at some level, it can only get to them so much at 5 and 6 years old. You know what I mean? But well, you want to do this because I'm going to do this and work hard for my money. I'm going to come up with and they have this concept of how they're going to either be entrepreneurial or believe in themselves or they know. I'm like, hey, like they said something like it was something more along the lines: "Is anything possible?" and is there such thing as failure? And they automatically know to be like, no, like just like it's kind of funny, like just teaching these little things that they know, it's like, and if their mom says something, they're like, no, mom, that's the wrong attitude to have, like it's kind of funny because it's cool when you see them getting it.
Yeah. And it's cool, man, because they're programming that shit into their subconscious minds. And eventually they're going to be operating at a whole different frequency and everything else that for us as kids, we didn't get to experience that. But we get to break the cycle and get them pushing in the right direction sooner.
Right, like all the programs and viruses, like you were saying earlier, that have slowed us down to where some of the most basic shit that is just simple to do becomes that mental mountain I was speaking about to you when we were at my house. There's that Mount Everest of the mind that you got to climb and get over that was programmed into your head. You mentally have a mental block and you think there's Mount Everest to climb, but really it's just a mental block. And so most of these people don't even start or don't think they can do it just off the jump. And I look like Jess with like certain stuff. She's like, but I'm so scared to do and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, I'll do the video, I'll shoot the fucking this, I'll do that, I'll fucking do the website, and it's like, but I just so concerned by, and it's like these mental fucking mountains they can't get over. And it's like if you don't have those programs as a kid starting early, you see why like certain kids just excel. And it's like, yeah, well, you're Elon Musk, good parents, good everything, college, all that shit. He starts, uh, you know, he starts out a phone book on the internet when the internet was nothing. Then he starts PayPal. He's the founder of PayPal. He's the one who did Tesla, built the car himself. Fucking the SpaceX rockets to go to space. He's now paid by NASA to do all the rockets for him. Like to go to space because he decides, you know what? I don't like traffic. I'm gonna dig a tunnel under LA, and then I don't have to go through traffic. And like Joe Rogan's like, so what makes you think you can just dig a hole? He goes, well, who told me I can't? I went, said fucking put in a permit. Nobody thought that you could dig a hole under all of LA. He digs a hole under LA because isn't there like some zoning? He goes, no, nobody owns under the ground. And he goes, and nobody's written a permit or a law that says you can't. So I dug a tunnel so I don't have to deal with traffic. Just like that. He goes, well, how'd you learn to do it? He goes, I just went and got a book. But he doesn't have those mental programs stopping him in the fucking beginning that were ingrained as a kid. Tommy, Elon, there's no way. Nobody told him that. It's just like, do whatever the fuck you want to do. And he can do it. And that's kind of like where I'm at with my kids. It's kind of be like, dude, anything you can fucking think of, go for it. There is no smaller. Like, as Will starts to get into what he's talking about, he's starting to go, damn, I got investors and shit now. Man, why didn't I think bigger? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Those are the things that are going to keep getting people momentum, You'll start seeing results like, oh shit, you start seeing shit happening. And it gives you that fire to, oh shit, it's real and it's tangible.
It's
you start
like a love under there. It's exciting.
Yeah. A little fire, a little spark turns into a big fire. It starts moving momentum, man.
Yeah, when you start seeing things that you couldn't even imagine, that's when you know there's some mountains being moved to create this shit. And that's some real talk.
Yeah. And with that said, later we can talk about it more, just staying in the flow as things are happening and surrendering to it and being in it, man. Later we can talk more how to beat it on the flow, but stay in the flow. Allow it to happen.
So are we going to give ourselves a couple weeks for our little breakdown of our story, or is our story going next week?
I say next week. It doesn't take me that long to write a story about myself. I know me better than anyone.
I'm going to freestyle it like I always do.
Once upon a time, there was this boy. His name was Robbie.
I'm going to write it.
Robbie used to break dance in the hood. Yet his parents dressed him like a punk rocker and pierced his ear at 5.
Don't fuck around. I'll push play on the video and play my whole shit. Don't fuck around.
Oh, shit.
I'd just be like, yeah, here, go ahead and watch this. Just play a video. That would be dope.
I mean, as we go, we can just ask each other questions and feed off of it. You know what I'm saying?
All I now hear is the story with little
No, all I can hear is like, once upon a time, not long ago. Where
I'm telling you, I can 100% picture it. And Timmy's holding a candle and it's all orange. And oh my God.
I have no clue what he's talking about.
I don't either, but I'm like,
you tell the story. Once upon a time, Timmy was sitting in the living room. And
yeah, we're gonna make it all spooky because it's Halloween.
We should.
And then the ghosts and goblins came out and gobbled his wiener.
Okay.
Oh, what the fuck? On that note, see you guys next week.
Mic drop.
Bam. All right, fellas, I'm out.
All right, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell if you want to get more.
Let's get some participation up in here.
Yeah.
Comment, motherfuckers. I want to know what's up.
I want to see Robert stressed out because he can't make all them fucking boxes fast enough.
Yeah. 1,000 comments, motherfuckers.
1 billion.